Hello and welcome back to my Daily News X, your quick focus dive into the stories shaping our lives. I'm your host Kramer, and today we're going to talk about something that's hitting thousands, if not uh, millions of families right now. Manufacturers shutting down operations, massive layoffs, and what folks can do to survive this turbulent ride. So what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's happening right now at this moment? Why our businesses are closing down or cutting deep? Well, in recent months, there has been a noticeable uptick in manufacturers announcing closures or laying off hundreds of employees. This isn't just a localized play, by the way. It's part of a broader global shift in how industries operate today. Here are some of the main pressures forcing these decisions or factors. I'm going to talk about number one, rising cost and supply chain strain. Input costs like steel, plastic, semiconductors, and energy, they all have a spike in many regions. When your raw materials cost more, your margins shrink, meaning the company loses revenue and cannot make more money than what they do. Manufacturers cannot absorb those costs indefinitely. Also, supply chain disruptions like shipping, delays, tariffs, and trade restrictions, they amplify the pain to these companies. Weak demand and order drop-offs. In many sectors, demand is cooling, meaning the companies that ordered heavily early now find they have inventory they cannot sell. For manufacturers, that means lower order volume, which makes it harder to justify keeping full-scale operators running. Another problem that we have is the global competition and offshoring. Some firms shift production to countries with lower labor regulatory costs. Even in advanced economies, consolidation and outsourcing of manufacturing tasks are continuing trends. Another issue we have is something that is taking a lot of jobs is technology and automation and efficiency pressures. As factories adopt more automation, that means fewer workers are needed for routine tasks. Those businesses that failed to modernize, they may be forced to shut down inefficient plants altogether. Restructuring and a strategic refocus. So some corporations are narrowing their core focuses, shedding non-core assets or divisions. The result, facilities get closed and thousands of employees get laid off. Alright guys, so to make this more concrete and more understandable, I'm going to call a few companies so you can understand what's happening in the situation with these American companies. For example, Novo Nordisk. They recently laid off thousands of workers in its US manufacturing plant as part of a global restructuring push. Also, we have in Napa, California, a manufacturer called Advanced Pressure Technology, or better known as APTech. They announced that it would shut down its plant, cutting 237 jobs. Another very well-known company and very popular is called John Deere, and in the stock market as well you can find it. It's cutting roles in its Iowa facilities, around 142 jobs, citing lower order volumes and reduced demand. A big company, global company called Siemens, probably heard that, make a lot of products. They're cutting some of 5,600 positions as demand softened, and it's adjust capacity in its digital and automation segments. We have also AGC Biologics, impacting life sciences manufacturing. They plan to eliminate about 278 roles in its US plants. These aren't just examples, guys, that I'm giving you. This is what actually is happening right now. The pattern is clear. Manufacturers are under pressure from multiple directions, and workers are bearing, unfortunately, the brunt. Now, what can people do to survive in this economy? If you're someone you know is now facing uncertainty, well, here are some grounded steps and strategies to stay afloat and plan forward. Number one thing you can do, update your skills and be adaptable. Enroll in short-term courses or online certification programs. For example, in-demand fields like logistics, automation tech, data analysis, or healthcare. Look for cross-training within your current company before the layoffs hits. Sometimes you can shift internally into roles less vulnerable to your position. Maintain a financial buffer. If you still have income, Build an emergency fund that can cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses like rent, food, utilities. Cut discretionary spending aggressively until things stabilize. An example I can give you is stop going to the movies, no dining in fancy restaurants. Leverage community and government support, unemployment insurance, severance packages, and reemployment programs such as job training, retraining grants should be used. This is based on the availability of your company, by the way. Check for nonprofit and local organizations. Many run job fairs, counseling, or short-term assistance. Explore freelancing, gig, or piecework, depending on your skills. Welding, machining, templating, repair, digital work. You may be able to pick up a contract or freelance work. Even part-time gigs, for example, driving for delivery apps, warehouse jobs. This can help bridge the gaps. Network intentionally and use your contacts. So reach out to your former colleagues, supervisors, or local chambers of commerce to find hidden opportunities. Look for social media apps like LinkedIn or industry groups. They can help you to spot openings early. Considering pivoting industries or roles. In manufacturing, if manufacturing is shrinking in your area, see where demand is growing. Like for example, healthcare support, green energy, logistics, tech adjacent roles, like for example, quality control, instrumentation, or service sectors. You may need to start at an entry level position, but with your experience, you may climb quickly. Please stay mentally resilient. These transitions are painful, so seek for emotional support for you or family members or friends or local groups. Plan small wins. Update your resume all the time. Applying for one job at a day or learning one new tool or software each week. Those steps, believe it or not, build a lot of confidence, especially if you're being laid off and you've been 2 or 3 months already in the grind. Now, this wave of closures and layoffs isn't just about individuals, companies. The effects ripple throughout towns and regions. When a factory shuts, it impacts suppliers, local shops, tax revenues, and even more. That means community level support like local governments, nonprofits, they play a vital role in cushioning the blow. Also, the broader economy and policy environment matter. Incentives for domestic manufacturers, trade policy clarity, and infrastructure investment. This can help stabilize the climate in which manufacturers and workers operate. All right, guys, to wrap things down with this podcast today, to close today's episode, here's a few takeaways that I want you to listen to. Yes, we are facing a tough environment for manufacturing jobs right now, and many people are being laid off. But let me tell you something. We aren't powerless. By adapting skills, building financial cushions, or exploring alternatives, and leaning on community supports, and thinking ahead, we can help protect ourselves and our families and loved ones. If today's topic resonated with you, please share my Daily News X with others. Reach out to someone who might be benefiting from this conversation, and let me know what you would like to hear next. Your questions and stories help shape the show. Stay strong, stay resourceful, and until next time, this has been my Daily News X. Thanks for listening.